So here's a woman with 6 kids by 3 different men, and she has decided to enter back into the dating market. Check it out.
Aries, mom to six, by three men, never married, mental health profession, going to school for nursing. You ready, Tessa?
I'll try to set my camera up for the. Okay.
Okay. What kind of man you looking for, honey?
Um, Someone who is just I don't want to say like it's hard to describe what you want because people start to think that you're needy. I just want someone normal, like someone from a decent background, someone who has goals, someone who washes their hands when they come out of the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, have good dental hygiene. Um, I've always been a strong, independent person. So I just wanted to be clear. Like I have 6 kids because I'm strong enough to raise them all. Uh, I have went through a lot raising my children, but nevertheless, it has made me a better person. So a lot of times men are scared of a woman with 6 kids. I'm very uh, well set and taking care of my children without the assistance of a consistent companion. So I'm not looking for a baby daddy. I'm not looking for someone to come in and do anything that they do not want to do. I'm very upfront about just being strong in that aspect. However, my perfect companion would be a family guy, someone who's oriented. He can have children. I don't mind that. I love kids. Um, just don't be messy. Like it's so many times, like if you have a baby moms or whatever, that's cool. Just be like, don't be messy with it. You know what I'm saying? Like just be normal. And I can pretty much adapt to anything. Now, what I'm not gonna deal with, like the deal breakers. Oh, sorry, Miss Kendra. I'm sorry.
No, good.
The deal breakers, what I'm not going to deal with is deception. I've been through a lot where I've healed from people being disloyal to me. So, like, I'm not going to go back to that. So, that's like, soon as you could bring back a receipt and say that it was $10 and you give it to me and it was $6.99, I'm going to feel some type of way. Yeah, because people, that's a consistent thing. Like being honest is something that you make a habit of. So you always just try to be clear and cut because people are crazy these days.
Woo, you broke it down. So, Tessa, should the man look a certain way?
I prefer height and chocolate. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a colorist. But oop, sorry, I'm not a colorist by far, but I just like what I like. Light skinned men are attractive in some aspect, but it's just not typically for me. Um, but I'm open to anyone
Well,
that
you're
is.
light skinned, so you want to date a man your complexion?
I'm not light skinned. I don't think I'm light skinned.
You don't think you're light skinned? What do you think you are?
Like a pecan, light skin pecan. But I mean, yeah, my shade are a little darker. But I'm not a colorist. Like as long as the guy is down to earth and he takes care of himself. I don't like hair chest, like chest hair or
You don't
whatever.
like ear chest?
Is that what that is? Or chest hair
Chest hair, maybe?
and back hair.
Okay. So she don't like hair chest.
But I like big guys. I mean, not 600-pound life big guy, but stocky is good, thick. I'm a country girl, so I like I like them thick now.
Okay. What about money? Should he make a certain amount of money?
And this day and age, and the way these women been taking care of these men, yes, he needs to make his own money. Cause I'm gonna carry my own.
How much money does he have to make? What's the minimum?
Well, in North Carolina, you got to make 3 times the rent to even survive. So the baseline for that is about $75,000.
Okay. So he should make 75K.
That's just saying you can pay your own rent.
So really that's the minimum.
That's the minimum.
That's the minimum. Did your children's dads all make 75K?
No, the last one didn't. He work at Walmart right now.
Did the two
I mean, the one
prior?
before the last one, the one in the middle. He work at Walmart. He didn't. He didn't.
Okay. So none of your children, you have three. None of them made 75K?
Oh yeah, I just said the one didn't. Two
Oh,
out of
the one.
three did.
Why didn't it work out with the other two men you had kids by?
Because messy.
You mean messy like a woman with 6 kids by 3 different men that comes on a dating show to air out her dirty laundry to the public? That type of messy? Because clearly you were better off getting on the app and shooting your shot at men in private than coming onto a show where thousands of people are going to see this. It's just getting ridiculous at this point.
And people make decisions that are not like pertinent to where they're at now. And so back then I had a lot of growing to do too. I was raised from a Christian background, and so I always chose life over anything. And those were personal decisions because everybody's accountable for their own actions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I chose life, and it's so easy to flush a kid down the toilet. That's just I chose, to do me. So yeah.
Fair enough. No judgment there. I guess what people will say is that's fair, but you went through it with three different men. So why maybe after the first or even second man? Because there's other precautions like there's 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 birth control that can also be implemented too, right? To
True.
prevent being in those positions. So I think people understand a one-time circumstance, but you went through the circumstance with three different men.
Well, everybody has their own story. I can't tell it on the Kendra, show tonight.
Only reason
Everybody
I
has
went
their
there is
own.
because of what you said. We don't have
No,
to deep dive.
no, no, no. I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, like everybody, there's an explanation for that, but it's sort of like too deep for here. But I get exactly what you're saying. I would say that too, just with someone else because I would want to know like what didn't work for you. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has those questions. That's a real question. However, I say that I don't use that as a crutch. A lot of women use their choices sometimes that they make to do other excuses like to treat men wrong, drag them, use them for money, do a lot of ill will things. I'm not bitter. So I just take it as it comes, and I'm still human. I think I deserve to have fun, life, whatever the case may be.
No, absolutely. Something you said earlier. You said that you feel like sometimes men are. I don't want to quote you wrong. I'm not sure if you
Okay.
used the word intimidated, but you said scared of a woman that has 6 children.
Yeah, well, like intimidated. Yes, ma'am. I did say that.
Okay.
Because they feel like, people, we want money. We want this, we want that. We want somebody to take care of our kids, this, that, and the third. And that may be the background for some women who have, they may be looking for that come up or whatever the case may be, but that's not every woman. So
Now,
that's
that's
why I
fair,
said
but
that.
you are saying the guy has to make at least 75K to date you.
Yeah, for himself. That means he can afford his own rent. That means he don't have to stay with me. Because remember, I
Right.
told you in North Carolina, they like to live, to actually survive, you got to make 3 times the rent.
So
So,
here's what they'll say. Okay, and I want you to respond to this. And I
okay.
know my cousins. If I make you a highlight, it's not that that man doesn't exist, but they will say, why would a man who makes 75K date a mother that has 6 children by 3 men?
Oh, well, I would say, I have dated men of many calibers, and that has not stopped me from pulling a lot of nice men who come from the background that I described. I'm not trying to sound cocky.
Right.
Um, Nevertheless, I had my own objectives, I had my own goals, and I wanted to be at a place where I can say I want these things because I realized that I did have 6 kids, that I realized I am a single Black woman. And it's going to be a little bit more harder for me to be in that pool. So once I was able to pull myself up to that threshold to be independent on my own, pay my own rent without Section 8, not be on food stamps, you know what I'm saying? To be able to do those things or accomplishments from where I'm from, sorry, Miss Kendra, and to be like, I can say, oh, I want this. I want this. I need this because, why not?
No, I love it. I guess the follow up would be those men that you pulled in your caliber. What happened to those guys? Why couldn't it grow into something long term?
Now, just because I was ready don't mean they was ready. And
But
they could
that's
have
always what it kind of comes down to.
period. But why not? It's not like I don't date a lot, Miss Kendra. Like I'm very self-absorbed. Like my kids working, things of that nature. So I feel like just seeing what's out there is okay, but I'm not really, I want to see, but it's not going to hurt me because I know the odds. Like you said, like it's a lot of consistent things happening in the dating pool.
Well, the thing is, and I have to be honest, I feel for a lot of Black women because it's in the numbers game, the quantity is for the type of man y'all want. Now, there's men, right?
Okay.
There's men out there every single day walking this planet, but most women want a certain type of guy, and there's not enough of that certain type of guy to go to every woman that desires him. So
That's
I
right,
honestly
Miss Kendra.
I do feel for my Black sister.
You're done, ma'am. 6 kids. The youngest are 2 5-year-olds that are twins. So far, you've been 0 for 3, and finding another man should be secondary. You're just gonna go 0 for 4. It's a wrap. All of that strong, independent talk, and you could pay your own bills, and you don't need food stamps, and blah, blah, blah. Men don't give a damn about that. As soon as we hit strong and independent, that means you're probably not gonna be a good wife, a good mother, not even a good girlfriend at that point. You're gonna send men walking in the opposite direction. It's in the best interest of you ladies to learn men, get to know men, understand what we want. You think we're looking for what you guys are looking for in a mate. We're not. We're looking for 2 different things. And that's where the confusion lies. So it looks like Pearl from Just Pearly Things and Brittany Renner agreed to start a podcast, and things went left pretty quickly. Let's check it out.
So now we're moving right along to a segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull out. I see what we did there. So each host will pull something from the internet or socials that they would like to address with that specific host. Sounds a little messy. We're gonna start with Pearl.
Sounds so messy.
We're gonna start with Pearl.
I'm first?
Yes. I mean, at first, yeah.
Okay, so I saw something that you retweeted, Brittany. And it was something about and it was something about female intuition.
Okay.
And I just don't think female intuition exists. I think female intuition is terrible.
I think it's terrible in what way?
We make terrible choices as women. So people will always say, "Oh, my female intuition, I knew because of my female intuition." And yeah, I don't think it's really a thing.
Well, intuition, just simply put, is heightened awareness. And so it stems from when women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No. I just look at the choices we make,
We or you?
We as women.
I mean, let's think about you. What kind of choices do you make?
Look at.
What kind of choices do you make?
Okay, what kind of choices do you make, Brittany?
But you're the one who's, we're talking, you're saying that females don't make good choices,
well, look at, we own the majority. I have no debt, right? But women in general.
That's because you're from a rich family, girl. Congratulations, girl. You're from a rich family, so what are you talking about no debt, girl?
Women in general have a
Congratulations. Like, you don't get fish don't get applauded for swimming.
I'm lucky. That's why I said I'm lucky.
Okay, so for you, so why lead with that? So why lead with that? So why lead with that?
You asked for an example, and I'm going to give it to you. Do you want me to start?
Girl, okay. Let me tell you what
let's talk about
what we're not gonna do, because you have a history of doing this, because I'm familiar with you, okay? Girl, what you like to do is you like to say these really stupid fucking comments, right? And then so what you do, then you like sit back and then you're like, you think you're so smart, you have this fucking smug ass look on your face, and then you're waiting for someone to give you that like emotional, like passionate response. So then you can sit there and be super dismissive and really kind of just gaslight. And I don't know, as a female.
Gaslight?
Yeah, do you know what that word means?
You guys use it for everything.
You guys.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know what's funny about using you guys is seriously, it kind of feels like the only thing that is actually feminine about you is that you have a vagina. Okay. Because I feel like, there's like a man on the panel.
Okay, and what's feminine about you, Brittany?
Everything is feminine about me.
Oh, come on. Like, I'm not trying to go personal here. So I don't know why you're trying to make this personal.
No, you made it personal when you led with, hey, I don't have any debt.
I don't know.
As if that's a flex because your parents have money.
You asked
What have you actually earned for yourself?
Brittany, you asked me. I'm saying in general, women own the majority of debt. We don't make great choices. Girl. If we look at who we pick, let's look at romantic decisions. Women don't make very good romantic decisions in general.
There's a point that needs to be made, though, and that's the fact that what I heard Brittany say earlier was she's talking about people who have there's a deep heightened intuition. And I think where the conversation is splitting is the fact that you're actually talking about people who don't have that, who have it turned off, who are disconnected
like her.
From their intuition, who don't make poor decisions. We make poor decisions. Like when we actually go down to the root of why it is that we make these poor decisions, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And more of it is going to come from just like the science and backing that you kind of put into collective bundles that ultimately just come from who? The white man that you were raised by. So when it comes,
I'm reading that she doesn't have any debt.
I'm just saying, so there's a certain level of understanding that's not there.
So that's not you making a decision. That's you being born into white privilege, and we need you to acknowledge that. So that's not a decision that you made. That is the way you came into this. And honestly, girl, you're a family of like 9 or 10. Like all that's how your dad set you up. So there are things that you genuinely did not have to experience. You don't know. You get to sit there again. So you don't even have to make any decisions. You're the same person. You are the same person that the last time I saw you accidentally. No, shut the up. Shut up when I'm talking.
Look at Brittany, bro. She's absolutely insufferable. Can you imagine being a man and having to put up with this shit every single day? These type of chicks are very common, bro. Run as fast as you can.
Good to go. You're the same person who accidentally spent $50,000 and your dad was able to pay it off on your credit card. Yes, you did when you spent.
I didn't actually.
You're the one who said an accident. I spent over my limit. That's what you said. That's what you said. So again, an unreal. That's what you said. That's what you said. The last time that I saw you. Yeah. So again, we're going back to you. Your girl. What the? That's what I'm saying. What comes out of your mouth? You literally just say whatever.
What are you? Why are you getting so mad over?
Because honestly, you're delusional.
Brittany.
Don't Brittany. Go ahead.
Brittany.
I do think there's one thing. I think there's one thing that we have to say.
If you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like you don't have to. You don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. You know, I'm not here to get like that's like you don't have to be rude. I don't.
Pearl is absolutely correct on this one. Female intuition is absolutely trash. Women are making worse decisions now than any time in human history. Not only is female intuition trash, women lack emotional intelligence. All of this talk on tiki-taki about emotional intelligence, women have none. Because as soon as things go south, the emotional roller coaster ensues. See, chicks like Brittany Renner, they're one-hitter quitter in every aspect. In the bedroom, when you're doing business with them, get her in and get her gone. Get her in the studio for one session, get the shock value, get her out of there, bro. You don't do long-term business with someone like Brittany Renner. She's too dysfunctional. Shout out to this next sister for sharing a real honest moment with us. Here it is.
It's our fault. We play into the powers that be that keep fathers out of the household. And there's so much emphasis on the importance of Black fathers and fathers in the lens of their children's lives, specifically their sons. There's so much blame and emphasis on how Black men's absence in the home and fathers in general's absence in the home affects our young men. But there's not enough conversation about how it affects us women. I will argue that it possibly is more detrimental to us than it is to you all. Women are just out here running reckless. I have been one of them. I'm 100% accountable. And I wish that more women would be accountable and honest about how the lack of fatherhoods in our lives have messed us up. A lot of us are promiscuous, liars, deceptive, just negative things that we shouldn't be. The list could go on and on. We don't respect ourselves. We don't respect our bodies. We don't respect others. We don't know how to love others. We don't know how to treat others. And a lot of that stems from the fact that we are missing that most important piece. There's so much emphasis on mothers being important to sons, mamas, boys, whatever you want to call it. There's not enough emphasis on daddy's girls and how girls walking around fatherless, walking around thinking that we have no value, no direction. A lot of us are bad with money. We don't know how to handle our tempers. We don't know how to keep our hands to ourselves. We don't know how to listen because we lacked that authoritative male role model in our household. A lot of times by our mothers doing. I will argue more times than not by our mothers doing. It is up to us as women to vet the men properly that we are having children with. But at a larger scale, we all need to own the fact that most of us are not virgins, and we are wrong for that. We are wrong for not saving ourselves until marriage the way that God intended. So now the world is a mess, and women are sitting around complaining about men all day, every day, focusing on what men aren't and what they're not doing instead of focusing on what is wrong with us as a female species.
Ladies, we need more of this. We need more of this. Accountability is how we allow the healing to begin. Women are dealing with so much trauma, whether it's generational, self-inflicted, or relationship trauma. And you couple that with all of the misinformation that is fed to women from basically from birth all the way to adulthood. It'll not only have these women in a delusional state, but a subhuman state. As harsh as that sounds. But accountability is how we bring it all back. You see, men are held accountable every single day. If a man is a failure, society will reward him in the form of a very shitty life. But somehow women have all of these safety nets that enable failure, bad behavior, and this in itself can cause mass delusion amongst women.